The Mummy, 1999, became a cult favorite for its thrilling adventure and unforgettable cast. But life off-screen brought unexpected turns for some of its stars. One actor faced a painful struggle that nearly ended his career. Another quietly stepped away from the spotlight after personal challenges. But despite the hardships, one fan favorite made an inspiring comeback that no one saw coming. Their real-life journeys were just as gripping as the film itself. What really happened to the cast will leave you speechless. Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep. As a powerful Egyptian high priest cursed and mummified alive for his forbidden love affair with Anksuna moon, Imhotep returns thousands of years later, bringing with him a wave of terror and supernatural wrath. Though feared for his dark powers and brutality, Imhotep is also a tragic figure driven by love and longing as much as revenge. Vosloo's portrayal infused the character with emotional depth and menacing elegance, making him one of the most iconic villains in modern adventure cinema. Born Arnold Vosloo on June 16, 1962 in Pretoria, South Africa, he grew up in a theatrical family. He studied drama at Pretoria's Technikon and quickly gained prominence as a stage actor in South Africa, earning acclaim for his performances in classical and contemporary plays. After relocating to the United States in the late 1980s, Vosloo transitioned into film and television, where his commanding presence, expressive eyes, and refined intensity made him a natural fit for complex, physically demanding roles. In 1999, at the age of 37, Vosloo was cast as Imhotep in The Mummy, opposite Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weiss. His performance required not only acting skill but also a high level of physicality and patience during extensive makeup and effects work. Vosloo underwent full-body prosthetics and CGI-enhanced sequences to bring the mummified villain to life. Yet beneath the visual spectacle, he delivered a nuanced portrayal of a cursed man clinging to lost love, which elevated the film beyond traditional action fare. Vosloo reprised his role in The Mummy Returns, expanding on Imhotep's story as both a fearsome antagonist and a tragic anti-hero. His scenes were marked by intensity, vulnerability, and a looming threat that kept audiences riveted. The global success of the films propelled Vosloo into the spotlight, earning him roles in high-profile projects such as the G.I. Joe franchise and appearances in series like 24, Alias, Bones, and NCIS. Now 2025, Arnold Vosloo is 62 years old and continues to act in international films, television dramas, and genre series. While his career includes a wide range of characters, his unforgettable role as Imhotep is a defining moment, securing his legacy as one of cinema's most enduring and emotionally complex villains. John Hannah as Jonathan Carneahan. The charming and often bumbling brother of Evelyn Carneahan in The Mummy and its sequels. As the comic relief in a film filled with curses, ancient magic, and supernatural danger, Jonathan was a lovable rogue, greedy, slightly cowardly, but ultimately loyal and brave when it counted most. Hannah's impeccable comedic timing and ability to ground his character in warmth and sincerity made Jonathan far more than just the funny sidekick. He became a fan-favorite character, providing both levity and heart throughout the trilogy. Born John David Hannah on April 23, 1962 in East Kilbride, Scotland, he studied at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, graduating with formal training in theatre. Hannah first gained recognition in British television and film, most notably for his performance in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, where he recited W.H. Auden's Funeral Blues in one of the film's most poignant scenes. This role helped establish him as a versatile actor, capable of blending humor with emotional depth, a quality he would later bring to his performance in The Mummy. In 1999, at the age of 37, Hannah joined the cast of The Mummy as Jonathan Carneahan. Unlike the film's action hero protagonist Rick Okconor, played by Brendan Fraser, Jonathan was the wild card, a man more likely to steal treasure than save the day. Yet Hannah ensured Jonathan was more than just comic relief. Through his nuanced performance, he showed Jonathan's moments of courage, especially when protecting his sister Evelyn or standing up against overwhelming odds. Whether brandishing a stolen artifact or accidentally awakening an ancient curse, Jonathan's antics consistently brought memorable laughs and heart to the screen. Hannah reprised the role in The Mummy Returns and The Mummy: Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, further expanding Jonathan's character as a reluctant adventurer who, despite his self-interest, could always be counted on when things got dire. Outside of the Mummy franchise, Hannah maintained a prolific career in film and television, appearing in Sliding Doors, Spartacus, and numerous British dramas, showcasing his impressive range. As of 2025, John Hannah is 62 years old and remains active in the entertainment industry, with recent roles in both dramatic and comedic series. Kevin J. Okconor as Benny Gabber. the scheming, cowardly, and double-crossing treasure hunter in The Mummy. He took on the role at 36 years old and turned what could have been a one-note character into one of the most memorable supporting roles in the film. Benny's mix of slapstick survival tactics and shameless opportunism made him both hilarious and infuriating. Born Kevin James Okconor on November 15, 1963 in Chicago, Illinois, he studied acting at DePaul University's Goodman School of Drama. Prior to The Mummy, Okconor had built a reputation for playing eccentric or morally ambiguous characters in genre films. He appeared in Virtuosity, Candyman, and Lord of Illusions, where his versatility and offbeat charm made him a frequent scene stealer. In The Mummy, Benny serves as both comic relief and a narrative wildcard. From the moment he abandons Rick O'Connell in the desert, it's clear Benny will do whatever it takes to survive. His panicked bargaining with Imhotep, desperate use of religious icons, and sniveling betrayal of everyone around him turned him into a fan favorite. His death, sealed in a tomb, surrounded by treasure, was poetic, ironic, and perfectly fitting. After the film's success, Okconor reunited with director Stephen Sommers for Van Helsing and returned briefly for The Mummy Returns. He later delivered a critically acclaimed dramatic performance in There Will Be Blood and has continued to take on eclectic roles in both independent and mainstream productions. Now 2025, Kevin J. Okconor is 62 years old and remains active in film, television, and theater. Oded Fehr as Ardith Bay. The loyal Medjay warrior in The Mummy. He took on the role at 29 years old, embodying a character who served as protector of ancient secrets and humanity's last line of defense against Imhotep's resurrection. With his commanding presence, intense gaze, and calm authority, Fehr transformed Ardith from a background figure into a fan favorite and essential part of the franchise. Born Oded Fehr on November 23, 1970 in Tel Aviv, Israel, he initially pursued a career in the Israeli Navy before studying acting in London at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. The Mummy marked his breakout role, introducing him to international audiences and opening doors to a successful film and television career. Fehr's performance as Ardith Bay gave The Mummy an added layer of mystique and dignity. Clad in black robes, riding on horseback, and speaking with unwavering conviction, Ardith was a warrior of ancient tradition. Though not the lead, Fehr's screen presence was undeniable. He conveyed loyalty, intelligence, and moral clarity, qualities that balanced out the more reckless energy of Rick O'Connell and the film's comic tone. He reprised the role in The Mummy Returns, where Ardith played a more active part in the battle against evil, deepening his connection with audiences. After the Mummy series, Fehr appeared in popular franchises like Resident Evil, as well as on television in shows like Sleeper Cell, Covert Affairs, and Star Trek Discovery. He became known for playing intense, complex characters with a strong sense of purpose. As of 2025, Oded Fehr is 55 years old and continues to work steadily in film, television, and voice acting. His portrayal of Ardith Bay remains a defining role, remembered for its quiet heroism and powerful screen presence. Before we uncover the journey of the Mummy's most iconic character, take a moment to subscribe. You won't want to miss more stories about the adventurous cast who brought this action-packed classic to life. Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell. Brendan Fraser delivered a career-defining performance as Rick O'Connell, the rugged yet endearing adventurer in The Mummy Returns, and The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, 2008. As a former French Foreign Legion soldier turned explorer, Rick was a perfect blend of action hero, reluctant romantic, and comedic foil, bringing Indiana Jones-style charisma with a modern twist. Fraser's portrayal balanced physical bravado with vulnerability, making Rick not just a hero but a human one. His chemistry with co-stars Rachel Weisz and John Hannah helped ground the franchise in emotional connection, even as it explored ancient curses and supernatural chaos. Born Brendan James Fraser on December 3, 1968 in Indianapolis, Indiana, he grew up in a globe-trotting household, living in multiple countries due to his father's work. He studied acting at the Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle and began his film career in the early 1990s. Before The Mummy, Fraser had already gained attention for his comedic and dramatic range in films like Encino Man, School Ties, and George of the Jungle. His unique mix of physical comedy, charm, and sincerity made him a standout among his peers. In 1999, at the age of 30, Fraser took on the role of Rick O'Connell in The Mummy. The role demanded grueling physical stunts, quick-fire comedic timing, and the emotional range to navigate everything from romance to fear to tragedy. Fraser committed fully, performing many of his own stunts and bringing an authentic, swashbuckling energy to the character. Rick's transformation from reluctant guide to devoted hero captivated audiences and solidified Fraser's place as a leading man. His role carried the film to global box office success and helped revive the adventure genre for a new generation. Fraser returned for 2 sequels, expanding Rick's journey into marriage, fatherhood, and increasingly high-stakes battles with the undead. Outside the franchise, Fraser took on a wide range of roles, including dramatic performances in The Quiet American and Crash, as well as TV appearances in Scrubs and The Affair. After a period away from the spotlight, Fraser experienced a celebrated comeback with a critically acclaimed performance in The Whale. Now, 2025, Brendan Fraser is 56 years old and continues to thrive in both film and television. His role as Rick Okconor remains one of his most beloved performances, cherished by fans for its heart, humor, and timeless adventure spirit. Rachel Weisz as Evelyn Carneahan. The brilliant, bold, and endearingly clumsy Egyptologist at the heart of The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. As a librarian at the Cairo Museum of Antiquities, Evelyn was driven by a thirst for knowledge and an infectious enthusiasm for ancient history. Weiss infused the character with humor, vulnerability, and fierce intelligence, transforming Evelyn from a bookish scholar into a fearless adventurer who held her own amid ancient curses, resurrected priests, and epic battles. Her chemistry with co-star Brendan Fraser added emotional depth to the films and helped make the franchise a global phenomenon. Born Rachel Hannah Weisz on March 7, 1970, in London, England, she was raised in a culturally rich, intellectually stimulating household. She studied at Trinity Hall, Cambridge, where she earned a degree in English and co-founded a student drama group that marked her entry into acting. Weisz began her career in British theatre and television, building critical acclaim for her nuanced performances. Before The Mummy, she appeared in films like Chain Reaction and Swept from the Sea, gaining attention in both indie and mainstream circles for her screen presence and classical training. In 1999, at the age of 29, Weisz was cast as Evelyn Carneahan. She brought a refreshing sense of authenticity and agency to a role that could have easily been reduced to a damsel in distress. Instead, Evelyn emerged as the moral and intellectual center of the film, curious, courageous, and unwilling to back down in the face of danger. In the sequel, her character's development continued as she took on a more action-oriented role, engaging in combat and uncovering her own reincarnated past. Her performance balanced elegance with strength, and her portrayal became a template for smart, capable heroines in action-adventure cinema. After leaving the franchise, Weisz went on to a string of critically acclaimed performances, including her Oscar-winning role in The Constant Gardener and standout work in The Fountain, The Favorite, and The Lobster. She also joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Black Widow, reaching new global audiences. Her commitment to complex, emotionally rich characters earned her lasting respect in both indie and blockbuster circles. As of 2025, Rachel Weisz is 55 years old and remains a sought-after and respected actress, active in both film and prestige television. Her role as Evelyn Carneahan continues to be celebrated as one of the most beloved female leads in modern adventure films, praised for her intellect, bravery, and timeless appeal. Patricia Velasquez as Anksuna Moon. The seductive and dangerous lover of Imhotep in The Mummy. She took on the role at 28 years old, delivering a performance that was both visually striking and emotionally intense. As the catalyst for the film's supernatural chaos, Anksuna Moon wasn't just a love interest, she was central to the story's mythos, her betrayal, and forbidden romance with Imhotep, setting the entire saga in motion. Born Patricia Carola Velasquez Semprún on January 31, 1971, in Maracaibo, Venezuela, she began her career as a successful fashion model, working with top designers across Europe and the US. After transitioning into acting, The Mummy became her breakout film role, introducing her to a global audience and establishing her as a rising talent in Hollywood. Velasquez's portrayal of Anksuna Moon was defined by her fierce presence, exotic elegance, and intensity. In flashbacks and resurrection scenes, she commanded attention, conveying passion, loyalty, and vengeance with few words. Her physical performance, including elaborate costumes and choreographed movement, helped create a character that felt both timeless and haunting. She reprised the role in The Mummy Returns, where her rivalry with Evelyn and doomed love for Imhotep took center stage. Following her work in the Mummy franchise, Velasquez appeared in films like Mindhunters and The Curse of La Llorona, and had recurring TV roles on series such as The L Word and Arrested Development. Beyond acting, she became a prominent activist, founding the Wayuutaya Foundation to support indigenous communities in Latin America. Now, 2025, Patricia Velasquez is 54 years old and continues to work in film, humanitarian efforts, and advocacy. Jonathan Hyde as Dr. Alan Chamberlain. the fast-talking and self-important Egyptologist, brought a touch of arrogance and comic contrast to the treasure-hunting ensemble in The Mummy. At 51 years old, the actor behind Chamberlain joined the cast in 1999, delivering a performance that balanced scholarly ambition with misplaced confidence. Chamberlain's need to outshine his peers often placed him in peril, adding irony and tension to the unfolding chaos. Born in 1948 in Brisbane, Australia, he trained at London's Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and built a distinguished career in theatre, television, and film. Known for his sharp delivery and theatrical gravitas, he made a strong impression in both comedic and villainous roles. Before The Mummy, he had already gained recognition in major films, and afterward he continued landing prominent roles, including in Titanic and Jumanji. His stage work remained equally celebrated with numerous classical performances across the UK. In 2025, at 77 years old, he continues to work selectively in British productions. Eric Avari as Dr. Terrence Bay. The intelligent and vigilant curator of the Cairo Museum, anchored The Mummy with wisdom and quiet strength. At 47 years old, the actor portraying Bay joined the cast in 1999, offering a performance that blended history, mysticism, and steady leadership. As an ally to the protagonists, Dr. Bay helped uncover secrets while keeping ancient evils at bay. Born in 1952 in Darjeeling, India, he came from a Parsi Zoroastrian family and developed a passion for storytelling early in life. He trained in theater and honed his craft internationally, moving seamlessly between Eastern and Western productions. His multilingualism and dignified presence made him an ideal fit for globally themed stories. Before The Mummy, Avari had gained notice in Stargate and other genre films. Afterward, he continued to work in film and television, with appearances in Planet of the Apes, Heroes, The Chosen, and The Mentalist. His versatility earned him steady respect as a thoughtful, understated performer. In 2025, at 73 years old, he remains semi-retired, occasionally lending his voice or presence to special projects. His portrayal of Dr. Bay endures as a symbol of integrity and cultural respect within a fast-paced, supernatural adventure.